All right, guys. Today we will be ranking all the chess pawns, not the pieces, just the pawns. Every single pawn, all the black pawns, all the white pawns, dark, dark square pawns, light square pawns, every single pawn. Okay. So let's start with the white, and let's start with the A2 pawn. This one. I think most of the time people don't castle. I like to castle like this. Wait, fuck now. Yeah. So I like to castle like that, right? Queen side. I like to castle queen side. So for me, this pawn can only do one thing, which is either protect the bishop to come on the B4, or just stay still. Okay, because my king is mostly right here, so I have to play this, not this. Wait, not this. And when people castle like that, they can play this one, and they don't have to play this. Or if they want fee and cattle, that's a different story. Um, okay, so I think the A pawn. Where is it? A pawn for, yep. It's a solid thing. It protects you from the fork as well. You know this. If the knight is right here, if I can play that with this mouse. Wait, if the knight is right here and you want to protect it from being pinned like that, you can play like this. So it's a solid pawn, I think. Yeah. So goes to B. Maybe A, but we'll see that later. Same thing goes for the H pawn, the H pawn for white. And it is more useful than the A pawn because your king also has an escape square, this one. So if you're not fee and kettling your bishop, and your bishop gets out this way, I mean this way, uh, you don't have to push this one. You can just push this and it will stop from uh, the light square bishop to come on the G file, G4 in this case, and pin your queen. And in most cases, you don't need to remove that. Queen might move somewhere else or whatever, but I think it's a solid piece. So H1 goes to a better position, which is A, A tier, gets A tier. Let's Okay, so this one is done and this one is done. I would say let's start with the D and E, right? Okay, let's start with my favorite pawn. Okay, my favorite pawn is the C pawn. Whether it is I'm playing as black or I'm playing as white, it's either C4, so I blow up like a C4, or it's C5. Okay, either way, it's either Sicilian or the English opening, or sometimes it turns into Queen's Gambit or whatever it is. I think this is the best pawn, and this is the best move for this pawn, to c4, because it's controlling the counter center, this part, and you can't do that. You can't really do that with the f pawn, and f3 is one of the worst things that someone can play. But f pawn is actually pretty good. The move f3 is bad because it ruins most of your structure. But the pawn itself is very important because of this. Okay, if someone plays their bishop out, they just take their bishop out, and you have this. There's no way you are castling at that point. You might as well have to castle like this, or get rid of it, or do something to obstruct the bishop, which in case might get taken, whatever. So I would say C4 or C is the best one. It's the best one. Let's put C to S plus plus. Nice. That's S tier. That's that's one of the best. Okay, let's move on to F1, I think. Yeah, the worst one. The pawn is important itself, but the move is bad. But the pawn is important. That's why the move is bad. Um, so I would say, but most people just play it. So I don't like that. Um, and Ben Feingold, the great Ben Feingold, says that you should not play F3 ever. Okay. I mean, if you can fork the king and queen right here, that's a different story. But yeah. Um, Before that, let me show you who Ben Feingold is. Wait, I'll show you later. Hmm. So now let's go to. Okay, so we have covered 4 pawns, right? These ones and these two. So let's get on to, I don't know, the middle ones, because this pawn, the D pawn, when you play C4, the D pawn becomes very good. Like these both square and these both pawn, if both of these pawns are on these squares, it's great. Just know that. So I would say, and also D is a good opening pawn. So you can just do this and certainly make some more moves and you can castle. So this opening is actually pretty good. Or not this. Maybe you can free and cattle like this and actually try to attack, whatever. Um, I would say it's better, but it's not. I mean, it's he's not the C pawn, so let's make D pawn as S tier. Let me see if there's okay. I might be cooked. Yeah. Moving on to a different pawn now. Let's do the most famous pawn in the whole world, which is E. And we know E4 is good, E5 is good, whatever. What E4 does is it has too many answers to being played, whatever I said. Yeah, so if you play E4, you have so many different openings and so many different answers to whatever you just played, which is e4. And if you like try to protect it, whatever it is, I don't like to play this, and that's mostly it. But the only thing is that you can try the scholar's mate or whatever, or you can just threaten them, or if you get your queen out early, you might have a chance to checkmate. But I don't know if that's ever a good thing to do or thing to try when you are like upper level or whatever. Because let's say you played this and so they can just protect their knight. Oh no, they can protect this pawn. Um, Wait, they can just protect this pawn, and if you move your queen further like that, then still the pawn is protected, whatnot. Wait. Yeah, so you can move your knight right here, or you can do this. You can there are a lot of answers, and you might get checkmated pretty soon. So that's the thing. E is solid, so the E pawn is goes to A. It is solid. It's not as good as C or D, but yeah, whatever. Um, Now we come to the B and the G's of the game. Wait, one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah. So the B's and the G's of the game. So for me personally, I would like to get my bishop out most of the time so that I can castle queenside. Um, it's not like I always castle queenside, but yeah. So ideally, I would want to play it like this and do something like that and move my bishop out, whatever. What ends up happening is I play this and I do this, so my bishop gets out like this. I don't mind if this is ever played or not. And one of the things that I do, or I think it's a problem actually, when I'm playing these pawns, I'm pushing these pawns to these squares. Mostly they get taken, and I don't have a pawn. I'm never left with a pawn on the c file, or a c4 pawn, or c3 pawn, or whatever, or c5 pawn. So what ends up happening is my king gets exposed, and they can just simply like try to push or try to pressure this one file. So even if this gets taken, I still try to castle. But if these two are not in the way, I would rather castle king side and just keep pushing these pawns. So the only thing is that the b pawn can always protect the c4 pawn like this. So this is a pretty good situation to be in, and maybe or maybe not. Wait, yeah, maybe like this, so I can move further. There's a lot of variations that I can play, and if I do like this, let's just say this, it's a good thing to have. I can just say that, like this. So yeah, I would say it's a good pawn to push once, or if you want to like push on the queen side and mate with the pawns, it's also good pawn for that. So for that reason, the b pawn gets, well, I don't actually know what I should give the b pawn. I should give to the b pawn. Wait, why is this not numbered? What the hell? Okay, so b pawn goes to supporting the h and supporting the c pawn and the d pawn, right? Yeah, both of these. So c pawn. If I can play it, so it gets A tier, maybe B tier. I would say B tier because I'm not usually playing it. I have never found myself playing B3 or B4 or whatever. So let's just keep it on, or and also because we want a bell curve like this. So I wouldn't have a bell curve like this. This is much better of a bell curve because this is a safe space for just the C pawn, at least for myself. Uh, yeah, so that's why I would rather have more pawns right here. And now comes the G pawn. Um, G pawn is one of the most pushed pawns when they want to fee and kettle their bishops, and also when the knight is not on the f3. Well, that doesn't really matter. Like you can just go like this, uh, this and this, and like pressure on this lane. Mm, is diagonal, I mean. And since you played like this, wait, since you play like this, you have this, and so this really allows you to get both of your bishops out, and in case they castle queen side, they are absolutely cool. You see, well, not if so yeah, like this, and if you can push your queen out as well, there's a good possibility that you can checkmate the other person. So I would say it's better than the b pawn. The G pawn is better than the B pawn. Okay, so this is so far the list, and I don't think any one of these is C or D. So I can just let me just rank these on C and D as well. Okay, let's go. So we got our A pawn. Okay, A is rarely, no, A is used to protect you from that. So let me do F pawn, uh, and I'm giving it C tier because it cannot be moved. Right? It is important, but it cannot be moved. And uh, I want a good bell curve right here. I don't want to give everyone B tier. So let's just do this. And since the G pawn is good for your bishop to get out, I would say the B pawn is not that good. So let's put, wait, the B pawn is already right here. So H and E, H pawn and E pawn. So E pawn is obviously better than the H pawn. I would say let's put H right here. Yep, that's basically my tier list for white pawns. Um, Let me know if you disagree or agree with this rating, and if you like this, that I put the C pawn on the S++ tier. But yeah, I'll see you with the black pawns in the next video. Bye bye.